Today I'm so excited. We have a great guest on the show. She's the founder for the Center of Enlightenment. She's an author, a speaker, and she locally teaches a huge meditation class. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Reverend Jane Hart to the show. Jane,
hi.
Thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's an exciting time because meditation is the way of connecting to your higher self. And it's wonderful that there's that many people that are interested in connecting with their higher self.
Now, you told me Easter time you had up to 350 people.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Well, I think the main reason was because we were setting the vibration of energy for Easter morning. And as you know, that you can begin the energy today for next week, next month, or next year.
Yeah.
So being in that flow of the energy and for a definite purpose that sets the vibration and energy for people all to become more awakened and more aware than they could have been if the energy hadn't been set.
Now, while we're on the subject of meditation, maybe you can tell us how you began and what the benefits of meditation are.
Well, actually, I began in 1967 because I had a desire to know God and to understand more of who I was, but I didn't know what that meant. You know, I just didn't know at all what that was all about. But I knew at a very young age, like 5 years old, I knew that I wanted to make a God connection. And my mother and father just like kind of laughed at me and said, well, you know, God doesn't talk to you. I said, God's going to talk to me someday. I know it. God will definitely talk to me someday.
Yeah.
And, but I didn't know how to go about that happening for me. So I kept asking those questions as I got older. And then I said, God has a plan for my life. I have to connect with it. Now, how do you connect with a God plan? And what happened was I found, well, you know, Jesus meditated on the mountaintop. I can start meditating. Maybe God will talk to me.
Yeah.
And that's what began me meditating. And that was a wonderful beginning for me because I began to feel the energy and a change happening within myself. And the more I meditated, the more clarity I got about my life. So that's how I began. And that was kind of interesting time because in the 70s when that meditation started opening up.
Yeah.
But when I started meditating, I was embarrassed to talk to anybody about it.
You were all on your own.
I was on my own, quite frankly, on my own, very much so.
You were like the yogi in the mountain.
I didn't have a mountain to stand on, but
Yeah.
hey, there I was, anyhow.
Well, interesting that whole thing happened for you in 1967, of course, which was the summer of love and all that stuff.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 1967, that's when the whole spiritual thing really started to happen. Maharishi coming from India.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So that was quite a key year, really, 1967.
Yeah, so I began my journey.
Yeah.
I can say the most serious part of my journey. And in that process, I met a girl that was also meditating. And so she and I started meditating together once a week at one of our homes, but we meditated every day at 1 o'clock in our own personal homes.
Yeah.
And we started to have messages coming, the same messages coming to us.
Oh.
So
you were in sync.
we were in sync.
Yeah.
And that made a huge shift in consciousness to know that there was somebody else on the planet that kind of was connected with me, that was getting sort of the same messages, so to speak, and greater understandings that were happening.
So you could call her your god sister.
That's right. And we're still friends after 45 years.
Wow.
We're still here.
Yeah.
She's in Oregon, but it was a spiritual connection God made.
Yeah.
You know, now I understand. At the time I didn't, but now as I look back to it, so much has happened from meditation.